Welcome back to the deep dive. Our goal, as always, is simple. Cut through the noise, make sense of the complex stuff, and really get you the key insights. Today, we're digging into Radico Khaitan Ltd. They're, a major player in India's alcoholic beverage scene. We're looking specifically at their Q1 FY26 financial results. We've got the official board meeting docs, their big earnings presentation, even a list of like 60-plus analyst questions. So we've done the legwork to give you a shortcut to what really matters here. We want to unpack these numbers, right? Understand the strategy and see what it tells us about the company and maybe the wider market too.
Yeah, and what jumps out straight away, I mean, the headline is, Radico Khaitan's reporting their highest ever quarterly performance.
Hmm.
And that's across the board, volume, net sales, EBITDA, everything. For Q1 FY26, so that's the quarter ending June 30th, 2025. It really is a standout quarter for them.
Highest ever. Okay, that's quite a statement. So let's unpack that. What are the actual figures telling this story?
Well, if you look year over year, Q1 FY26 versus Q1 FY25, the growth is pretty impressive. Revenue from operations, net revenue, that's up 32.5%, came in at 1,506 crore.
Okay, strong top line.
Exactly. And it flows down. Gross profit up 38.8% to 647.7 crore. EBITDA, which is, a key measure people watch, saw a really remarkable jump, 55.6% increase to 230.7 crore.
Wow, over 50% on EBITDA.
Yeah, and it continues. Profit before tax leaped 75.2%, 277.6 crore. Net profit for the period rose 74.7%. That's 133.3 crore. Even total comprehensive income was up 74.5%.
So the profitability really accelerated then.
Absolutely. And for shareholders, basic earnings per share, the EPS grew by 74.6% to 9.96. Just solid growth everywhere you look.
That is a lot of growth, very aggressive.
Yeah.
Any concerns that come with that kind of speed, like operational strain or, are they taking on debt to fuel this? What's the debt picture look like?
That's a fair point about managing growth. The reports don't flag immediate operational issues, but on the debt side, it's actually good news. Their net debt is down. It stood at 409.8 crore. That's actually a reduction of about 163.7 crore just since the end of March 2025.
Oh, interesting. So they're growing and deleveraging simultaneously.
Precisely. They're boosting revenues, massively improving profitability, those margins expanding and paying down debt. It suggests really efficient operations converting that demand into shareholder value. It looks like quite healthy growth.
Okay, so the financials are strong, balance sheet improving. But these numbers, they don't happen in a vacuum, right? It all starts with volume, with actual sales. What's the story there, especially for their main IMFL category?
You're absolutely right. Volume is key. Their total IMFL, that's Indian-made foreign liquor, volume was up 37.5%, reached 9.72 million cases.
Nearly 10 million cases in a quarter.
Yeah, and if you break it down, the prestige and above segment, their premium stuff, grew significantly. 40.8% growth there, hitting 3.84 million cases. But what's really interesting, maybe even surprising, is the regular and others volume.
Right.
That showed an even sharper increase, 52.1% growth to 5.42 million cases.
Okay, now that is interesting because Radico's whole narrative for a while has been premiumization, right?
Yep.
Moving up market. This regular and other segment had actually seen some degrowth before. So why the big bounce back now? Is the strategy shifting or is something else going on in that part of the market?
That's a great question. The presentation points to a few things driving that regular volume. First, there's a lower base effect from last year, so the comparison makes the growth look bigger. That's part of it.
Okay, makes sense.
Second, they mentioned a normalization of state-specific industry issues to a large extent. So some market headwinds might have eased off. And third, specific changes in their route to market in Andhra Pradesh seem to have helped.
Distribution tweaks.
Exactly. So it seems like while they're pushing premium, they've also managed to, let's say, optimize or capitalize on opportunities in the regular segment, maybe where others haven't. And they did note this strong regular volume actually continues momentum they saw building back in Q3 of FY25. So it's not entirely out of the blue.
Right, so they're playing effectively across different price points. This performance then, it's not accidental. It sounds very strategic. What did the leadership, the Khaitans, say about what's behind this success?
Yeah, both Dr. Lalit Khaitan, the chairman and MD, and Mr. Abhishek Khaitan, the MD, weighed in. They definitely reinforced the premiumization journey as a core focus. That premium portfolio is driving strong revenue growth. They also credited a stable raw material environment that helps margins, obviously, and a favorable product mix for that margin expansion we saw in the EBITDA numbers.
Okay, stable costs, better mix.
Right. And looking ahead, the goal is sustainable, profitable, and volume-led growth. That's the mantra. They plan to do this by strengthening their main premium brands, but also by really pushing the distribution of their newer premium and, importantly, luxury launches. Mr. Abhishek Khaitan also made a broader point. He sees the Indian alcohol market evolving. It's becoming more of a lifestyle-led category.
Lifestyle-led. Explain that a bit more.
Well, driven by rising incomes, changing consumer tastes. People aren't just buying a drink, they're buying an experience, maybe status. And he feels Radico Khaitan is really well placed to lead that shift.
That's a fascinating perspective. So it's not just about selling more, it's about selling differently into these higher value, aspirational segments. What kind of new products are we seeing that fit this lifestyle strategy?
They've made two really significant, bold launches recently. First is the Morpheus Super Premium Whiskey. This is smart. They're leveraging the huge success and brand recognition of Morpheus Brandy.
Which is massive in brandy, right?
Exactly. Dominant. So they're using that name to enter the super premium whiskey space. It's made with imported Scotch malts, Indian grain spirits, aged in bourbon barrels. A clear step up.
Okay, leveraging existing equity. What's the second one?
The second is even more high-end. The Spirit of Kashmir Losheri Vodka. This sounds quite unique. Crafted with saffron from Pampur, Himalayan spring water, and they mentioned it's refined through diamond filters.
Diamond filters. Okay, that definitely screams luxury.
Right. They're positioning it as a potential global brand. Pricing in UP is 3,000 euros for the saffron version, 2,500 for the natural, and they're rolling it out in Goa, Maharashtra, other key spots. It's a real play for the top shelf.
Very distinct products, definitely targeting that aspirational consumer, and it shows they're putting serious investment behind their brands. How are the established workhorses in your portfolio doing? Any specific highlights or awards?
Oh, absolutely. The existing brands are performing incredibly well and getting lots of recognition. Morpheus Brandy, as we said, still holds over 60% market share in premium brandy. The Blue XO variant just picked up a grand gold at Mon Selection 2025.
Still dominant.
Totally. Then there's Magic Moments Vodka. It accounts for something like 60% of the entire vodka market share in India. Crossed 7 million cases in FY25. They're keeping it fresh, too, with things like the Magic Moments Music Studio tie-up with Saragama, new pack formats, and those Flavors of India editions.
Keeping the momentum going. What about whiskey?
After Dark Blue Whiskey, they relaunched it in FY23. It saw huge growth, over 100% year-on-year in FY25, crossing 1.9 million cases. That got it into the Millionaires Club, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
And then the really high-end stuff, Rampur Indian Single Malt. It's now in about 50 countries, tons of travel retail spots. It's winning big awards consistently. Rampur Double Cask got gold at several competitions in 2024. Rampur Asava was named one of the top 10 single malts globally by Wine Enthusiast in 2023. That's serious international acclaim.
Wow, top 10 in the world.
Yeah. And Jaisalmer Gin holds about 50% market share in India's luxury gin space, available in 40 countries, winning golds too. Finally, Royal Ranthambore Whiskey, the one endorsed by Saif Ali Khan that also won gold at Monday Selection this year. So it's a portfolio full of winners, many making a mark globally.
That's a really powerful brand story across the board. Okay, stepping back from the big picture strategy and brands, were there any sort of smaller operational details or financial footnotes that are worth highlighting from the reports?
Yes, a couple of things. There was an exceptional item mentioned. It's a one-time expense, about €7, related to a reassessment of house and water tax in Rampur going back several years, from 2019 to 2025. So just cleaning up a past issue.
Okay, a historical adjustment. Anything else?
On the employee side, they issued some shares under their ESOP plan, about 16,000 shares,
Yeah.
standard stuff. They also granted 80,000 new stock options at an exercise price just over 2,081 per share. Again, typical incentive alignment.
Right, and the auditors?
The auditors, Walker Chandiok & Co. LLP, gave an unmodified conclusion on the results. That basically means they didn't find any major problems or misstatements, though they do point out the review is less extensive than a full annual audit.
Standard limited review conclusion, then.
Exactly. And just for clarity, Radico Khaitan operates essentially as one business segment, alcohol and alcoholic beverages. No major diversification reported.
Okay. So wrapping this up, we've really covered a lot of ground on Radico Khaitan's truly record-breaking quarter. It seems clear they're navigating a pretty dynamic market, very effectively strategic launches, that strong focus on premiumization, and really solid financial management, too.
Absolutely. And if you connect the dots, This sustained growth in premium, the push into luxury,
Yeah.
it really does seem to signal a bigger shift, doesn't it? A fundamental change, perhaps, in how Indian consumers view and consume alcoholic beverages. It's moving beyond just the product to the experience, the lifestyle aspect.
Yeah.
Which leads to a final thought for you, our listener. Thinking about these shifts we've discussed in alcohol preferences, how might these reflect broader changes? Changes in lifestyle, income levels, maybe aspirations across India? And what could that potentially signal for other consumer goods industries also trying to connect with that evolving Indian consumer? Something to ponder.